Listen. Before the world was noise, before the mind was conditioned to chase shadows, there was only stillness, and in that stillness there was clarity. You were not born to suffer. You were born to awake. The Buddha did not come to start a religion. He came to show a path out of suffering, not with promises of paradise, not with threats of hell, but with insight, piercing, direct, and liberating. He spoke not of gods who ruled from above, but of the fires that burned within: desire, aversion, ignorance. And he offered water, cold, clear water of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. You have spoken to yourself in anger, in fear, in shame, in defeat. You have looked in the mirror and seen a stranger, judged and forgotten. You have told yourself that you are not enough, not ready, not worthy. But listen closely now. Speak again, but from a deeper place. A place where truth is not shouted, but whispered. You are not your thoughts. You are not your pain. You are not broken. These are not affirmations. They are not decorations on the surface of your mind. They are chisels, carving a path through stone, through illusion. Let them reach deep. Every thought you have ever had is just that, a thought, a cloud passing through the sky. And yet, how tightly you have gripped them. You've mistaken the cloud for the sky, the story for the truth. What is suffering? The Buddha said, there is suffering. That is the first noble truth. He did not deny it, he did not escape it. He named it clearly, without fear, without shame. Because to look at suffering directly is the first act of liberation. And what causes it? Clinging to what you love, to what you hate, to who you think you are, to who you fear you'll never become. Imagine holding a burning coal tightly in your fist, waiting to throw it at someone else. That's what resentment is. That's what self-judgment is. That's what it means to identify with your pain. You are burning yourself to punish your past. You are dragging your history into the present and calling it destiny. But what if you simply let go? The Buddha never forced a single truth. He said, come and see, not come and believe. He invited you to look, not with the eyes of doctrine, but with the eyes of silence, the eyes of presence, the eyes of one who sees clearly. When the mind is quiet, reality reveals itself. And what is reality? It is this moment. It is not the memory of who hurt you. It is not the fantasy of who will save you. It is the breath you are taking right now, the sensation of your body sitting, moving, breathing, the space between two thoughts, the softness behind your chest when you stop pretending. Talk to yourself like this for 1 week, and your life will change. Not because you are adding something, but because you are subtracting what never belonged. Start here with your own attention, with your own awareness. It is the beginning of all paths, the root of all freedom. Awareness is not passive. It is the sharpest blade. It cuts through illusion like sunlight through fog. When you become aware, truly aware, of what you think, feel, believe, you no longer are its prisoner. You become its witness, and the witness is free. From this place, let's examine thought. You believe you are thinking, but most of the time, thinking is happening to you. Like rain falling on the roof. Random, repetitive, loud. How many of your thoughts are echoes of fear, of old wounds, speaking again through new voices? You wake up in the morning, and the mind begins chattering, planning, remembering, regretting. It's like walking into a crowded room the moment you open your eyes, but the room is in your head. Now, become still, just for a breath. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly. Watch the thought pass by like a bird crossing the sky. You are not the bird. You are the sky. The Buddha taught, as a fletcher straightens an arrow shaft, so the wise make straight their wavering and unsteady thoughts. He did not say stop your thoughts. He said straighten them, refine them, become aware. Your thoughts build your world. They shape your perceptions, your actions, your habits, your destiny. Speak to yourself not with judgment, but with clarity. Not with force, but with truth. Say, I see you, fear. I see you, doubt. You do not control me. Awareness brings freedom because it reveals the space between stimulus and response. In that space is your power. The Buddha said, with our thoughts, we make the world. You cannot control all events, but you can choose your relationship with them, and that relationship is built on thought. When your mind is full of hatred, the world seems hostile. When your mind is full of compassion, the world softens. Not because the world changed, but because you did. If you water a seed of anger in your mind, it grows. If you water a seed of peace, it also grows. Your mind is a garden. Tend it carefully. Guard it like a sacred temple. Now let us move deeper to belief. What do you believe about yourself, really? Pause and ask, because most of your beliefs are inherited, conditioned, whispered to you in childhood, reinforced by repetition, locked in place by emotion. But have you ever truly questioned them? Do you believe you are not good enough? Not smart enough, not deserving? Who told you that? And more importantly, why did you believe them? Beliefs are not truths. They are habits of perception, and they can be changed gently, with awareness. The Buddha did not ask you to believe. He asked you to see. The difference is profound. Belief says, this is how things are. Awareness says, let me look again. Belief can become a prison. Awareness is always a door. You may believe you're alone, but look deeper into the eyes of a stranger, the smile of a child, the stillness of a tree. Everything is connected. Nothing exists in isolation. Every breath you take is borrowed from the earth. Every heartbeat is in rhythm with the world. Say to yourself, I do not need to believe everything I think. I do not need to cling to everything I feel. I can watch. I can breathe. I can let go. 1 week of this and your inner landscape begins to change. The weeds of doubt are replaced by the blossoms of wisdom. And what is wisdom? Not knowledge, not facts, but direct, intimate understanding of how things are. To see that all things arise and pass, that joy and sorrow are waves on the same ocean. That no feeling, no situation, no identity is permanent. That you are not the roles you play, not the masks you wear, not even the voice in your head. You are the awareness behind it all. That is the voice I invite you to speak from. The voice of the one who watches. The voice of the one who has always been free. Let us now walk into clarity, into the radiant light of discernment. When the Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree and looked into the nature of reality, he did not find complexity. He found simplicity, but not the simplicity of the naive. The simplicity of the awakened, of one who sees clearly, without distortion. Clarity is not the absence of thought. It is the ability to see thought for what it is, a passing event in the field of awareness. When your inner world is muddy with assumptions, stories and noise, you cannot see the truth. But when the waters settle, even the smallest pebble is visible at the bottom. Ask yourself, when was the last time I was truly clear? Clear in purpose, clear in presence, clear in my relationships, clear in who I am and why I'm here. Most of us move through life like fog drifting across a mountain path, vague, confused, unsure. We chase one desire after another, each promise of happiness leading us further from peace. But clarity cuts through illusion. It is the sword of the awakened mind. The Buddha taught that the cause of suffering is not merely pain, it is confusion, misunderstanding, wrong view. When we believe the impermanent is permanent, the impure is pure, the selfless is self, we suffer. Clarity is the correction of view. It is to see things as they truly are, not as we want them to be or fear them to be, but as they are. You can practice this in every moment. See anger as anger, not as my anger, but simply a mental formation, temporary, conditioned, not self. See craving as craving, not as something noble or justified. Just see it, the thirst, the reaching, the illusion that something outside you can complete you. When you see clearly, the illusion begins to dissolve. The grip loosens. The chains rust and fall away. Clarity is not found in books alone. It is not gained through argument or intellect. It arises when the mind becomes still, like a lake undisturbed by wind. The Buddha said, "He who sees clearly, he who sees deeply into the nature of reality, sees me." To see clearly is to embody the Buddha mind. Not because you repeat his words, but because you understand his silence. Now ask yourself, what do I truly see when I look at the world? Do I see through the lens of fear, of comparison, of judgment? Or do I see with the eyes of compassion, of truth, of simplicity? The way you see the world determines the world you live in. You may live in the same city, walk the same streets, meet the same people, but if your perception shifts, everything changes. The prison becomes a temple. The enemy becomes a teacher. The failure becomes a path. This is not imagination. This is training the mind to look beyond appearances. The Buddha taught the concept of right view. Not to judge others, but to orient yourself toward truth. It is like aligning a compass before setting out on a long journey. If the compass is broken, even a few degrees of error will carry you far from your destination. Right view does not mean blind faith. It means understanding that life is impermanent, that suffering arises from attachment, and that liberation is possible. With this view, your steps become lighter, your burdens fewer, your direction. And from this clarity, vision is the light that shines from within when you no longer seek approval outside. It is not ambition. It is not fantasy. It is purpose, guided by truth. When you are clear inside, vision arises effortlessly, like dawn after a long night. Most people ask, what should I do with my life? But the deeper question is, what kind of being do I wish to become? Your doing will flow from your being. A person filled with greed will turn any role into a battlefield. A person filled with peace will turn any work into service. So look within. Cultivate your inner soil before planting the seeds of vision. Ask not what the world wants from you, but what your soul longs to offer. And listen in stillness. The answer does not come as a thought, but as a knowing. True vision is not about power. It is about freedom. Not about control, but alignment. Not about being better than others, but becoming your deepest self. When your vision is rooted in compassion, it will carry you even through suffering. When your vision is aligned with truth, you will not need motivation. You will be pulled by a deeper current. The Buddha's vision was vast, the liberation of all beings, and yet he began with himself. One breath, one step, one moment at a time. This is your path too. You do not need to change the world. You only need to wake up within it. Seek to yourself with vision, not delusion, not fantasy, but the vision of one who sees their own potential as a flame waiting to be lit. Say to yourself, I am not here to escape life. I am here to awaken within it. I do not walk blindly, I walk with eyes open and heart steady. My life has meaning, not because it is perfect, but because it is honest. Now let us speak of discipline. In the West, the word often tastes bitter. It is confused with punishment, with rigidity, with force. But in the Dhamma, discipline is not restriction, it is liberation. Discipline is the bridge between intention and reality. You may wish to be free, but freedom is not found in chaos. It is not found in the indulgence of every impulse. That is slavery of a different kind. Freedom is found in mastery, in choosing again and again what serves your highest self, in saying no to what numbs you, in saying yes to what nourishes you. The Buddha taught the Eightfold Path, and it was not a philosophy. It was a discipline, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort. These are not abstract ideals, they are daily choices. When you lie, you train your mind in deception. When you speak with honesty, you train your mind in courage. When you indulge in hatred, you strengthen fear. When you practice loving kindness, you expand your capacity for joy. Every action is a seed, every habit a tree, every day a forest. What are you planting? Discipline is not harsh, it is compassionate. It is the gentle hand that leads you out of darkness, the reminder that your time here is short and precious and worthy of care. Imagine your life as a sacred temple. Discipline is how you keep it clean, how you protect it from those who would defile it, especially the voices in your own mind. Speak to yourself as a guardian. Say, I honor my path. I return again and again to what matters. My discipline is my devotion. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to be sincere. You only need to begin and begin again. Let go of failure. It is just a part of training. Even the Buddha fell before he rose. What matters is your direction, your intention, your return. Discipline is not punishment. It is remembrance. Remember who you are. Remember why you're here. Let this remembrance guide your steps, one breath, one choice, one sacred moment at a time. Now, from this foundation of discipline, let us speak of action. For what is a vision without movement? What is clarity without expression? The river does not exist only in its source, it is known by its flow, and so too with wisdom. It must be lived. The Buddha taught, to walk the path is to practice the path, not to talk of it, not to plan it endlessly, but to place one foot in front of the other, with care, with mindfulness, with truth. You may think you need more time, more motivation, more knowledge, but truly, you only need this, the willingness to begin. Now, with what you have, with who you are. Every action begins not in the body, but in the mind. And thus, every mindful action is a revolution. Against forgetfulness, against habit, against the trance of unconscious living. When you eat, eat with presence. When you speak, speak with kindness. When you walk, walk with awareness. This is sacred action. This is living the Dhamma. You do not need to escape to a forest. You do not need to wear robes. The world itself is your temple. Your family, your workplace, your street. These are your practice grounds. Every irritation is an opportunity for patience. Every challenge, a call to courage. The greatest change arises not from grand gestures, but from repeated moments of sincerity. Washing the dishes with mindfulness, listening without interrupting, returning to the breath in the middle of chaos. These are not small acts. They are revolutionary. In the Dhammapada it is written, better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. So too with actions. One mindful step is worth more than 1,000 aimless miles. One gesture of compassion can shift the course of an entire day, an entire life. You may not see the result immediately, but do not mistake that for insignificance. The seed planted today grows roots before it breaks the soil. Trust the process. Act with intention and release attachment to outcome. This is the paradox of true action. You give your full effort with no grasping. You move with purpose, but not with desperation. You serve with love, not ego. And from action, let us awaken the next jewel on our path. Gratitude. Gratitude is not a reaction, it is a state of awareness. It is not merely saying thank you when things go well. It is bowing to life even when it is hard, even when it breaks your heart, because you see the gift hidden in the pain. The Buddha taught, let us rise and be thankful. For if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we did get sick, at least we didn't die. So let us all be thankful. Gratitude is the antidote to fear, to anger, to lack. It transforms what you have into enough, and what you are into something sacred. When you live in gratitude, the world becomes abundant, the sky becomes more vivid, the wind more tender, the people around you more human. You begin to notice the miracle in the ordinary, the warmth of a cup of tea, the smile of a stranger, the silence between two notes of music. These are not small things, they are life itself. Say to yourself, I do not need more to be happy. I open my heart to what is already here. Gratitude is my prayer and my power. You may think gratitude is passive, that it means settling. But true gratitude is fierce. It is defiant in the face of greed. It says, I will not be owned by what I lack. It says, this moment is enough. It says, I choose to see the good, even when the mind wants to see the lack. When you train your mind in gratitude, you are creating a mind that is free, free from the chains of comparison, free from the poison of entitlement, free to love, to serve, to smile without reason. And this freedom gives rise to another strength, adaptability, because the world will not bend to your will. Plans will fail, people will change, loss will visit. But you can adapt. This is not weakness, it is the deepest strength. The bamboo survives the storm not because it resists, but because it bends. The river carves mountains not through force, but persistence. Adaptability is not giving up. It is shifting with wisdom. It is holding your vision, but loosening your grip on form. It is asking not, why is this happening to me, but what is this moment asking from me? You are not a statue carved in stone. You are a being of breath, of blood, of change. To live is to change. To grow is to change consciousness. Adaptability is the skill of presence in motion. It is meeting life where it is, not where you wish it to be. The Buddha adapted. He taught farmers in metaphors of seeds. He spoke to warriors in terms of battle. He spoke to kings and outcasts alike. Always present, always clear, always flexible. Be like this. Be firm in your truth, but fluid in your expression. Know your center, and from that center, flow. Say to yourself, I release what no longer serves. I bend, but I do not break. I meet each moment as it is, fresh, alive, sacred. Adaptability leads us to our final power for today, resilience. Because to live in this world is to be wounded. To love is to lose. To try is to fail. But resilience is the art of returning. Again and again. With grace. The Buddha did not avoid pain. He faced it, embraced it, and transcended it. He lost. He struggled. He was misunderstood. But he did not collapse into bitterness. He rose with compassion. Resilience is not hardness. It is not numbness. It is softness that does not shatter. It is the heart that stays open, even after betrayal. The mind that stays curious, even after confusion. The soul that still chooses love, even when the world turns cold. You are more resilient than you know. Think of the times you thought you would break, but didn't. Think of the nights you didn't think you'd survive, but did. The tears you've cried, the storms you've weathered, the dreams you dared to dream again. These are not signs of weakness. They are proof of your strength. Say to yourself, I have fallen, and I have risen. I carry scars, but I am not broken. I am soft, but I am strong. Talk to yourself like this for 1 week, and you will feel it. The quiet power rising, the dignity returning, the light behind your eyes, steady and you will walk differently, speak differently, breathe differently, because you will remember, suffering is not the end of the story. It is the invitation to awaken, to transform, to rise. And now, from this rising, let us speak of learning. The path of the Buddha is not a static one. It is a living journey, a continuous unfolding. To walk it is to remain always a student, humble, open. The greatest obstacle to growth is not ignorance. It is the illusion of knowing. The mind that says, I already understand, is the mind that has stopped listening. But wisdom whispers only to the quiet heart. It enters only where humility has opened the door. In the Kalama Sutta, the Buddha said, do not go upon what has been acquired by repeated hearing, nor upon tradition, nor upon rumor, nor upon what is in a scripture. When you know for yourselves that certain things are unwholesome, abandon them. When you know for yourselves that certain things are wholesome, cultivate them. This is the way of true learning, not blind obedience, but intimate discovery. The Buddha never asked for belief. He asked for attention, for presence, for personal verification. Every experience you have is a lesson. Every joy, a teaching. Every pain, a text. You are always in the classroom of your own life. The only question is, are you paying attention? You may read 1,000 books, but if you do not examine your own mind, you have learned little. True learning is not memorization, it is transformation. To learn is to unlearn the habits that keep you asleep, to soften the armors that keep you afraid, to remove the veils that cover your clarity. You are not here to become more. You are here to remember what you already are. The light was never gone, only covered. Say to yourself, I do not fear mistakes, they are my teachers. I remain open, especially when I am uncomfortable. I choose growth again and again. Do not seek only pleasant lessons. The sharpest truths often come wrapped in suffering. Welcome them too. Bow to them. Let them show you where you are still clinging, still asleep, still holding on to a false idea of self. The Buddha taught that all things arise due to causes and conditions. This is the law of dependent origination. Nothing happens in isolation. Everything is connected. So when pain arises, do not take it personally. Examine the conditions, the causes, the habits of thought, the patterns of behavior, the inherited beliefs. Trace the roots, not with blame, but with curiosity. This is how the student becomes the sage, by making the unconscious conscious, by turning ignorance into insight, by seeing clearly and acting wisely. And as you walk this path of learning, you will notice something miraculous. The more you learn, the less you cling, the less you judge, the more compassion flows effortlessly from you, like water from a pure spring. Because with wisdom comes understanding. With understanding comes forgiveness. and with forgiveness comes peace. Let this peace become your resting place. Let it settle deep into your bones. Let it guide your words, your work, your way of being. Now, allow yourself to breathe. Feel the quiet. Feel the presence behind the words. This presence, this stillness is your true home. You have never been separate from it, only distracted, only convinced by the noise of the world, the noise of the mind. But in the stillness, you remember. You remember that no title can define you. No failure can diminish you. No success can complete you. You are not your name, not your roles, not your memories. You are awareness, timeless, boundless. And in this remembering, joy arises. Not the joy of excitement, which comes and goes, but the joy of being, of breathing, of simply existing, without needing anything to be different. This is the joy the Buddha spoke of, the joy that comes from renunciation, not as loss, but as release. The joy of letting go of what you were never meant to carry, the joy of living light. Say to yourself, I allow joy to enter without needing a reason. I open to the joy of this moment, simple, quiet. I am enough, here and now. And from joy, naturally, comes not the love of attachment, which clings and fears, not the love of possession, which grasps and controls, but the love of metta, unconditional, boundless, radiant. The Buddha spoke of 4 immeasurables: loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. These are not emotions, they are states of being. They are the fragrance of an awakened heart. Practice them like this. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings rejoice in the joy of others. May all beings rest in peace. And do not exclude yourself. You too are a being. You too deserve happiness, freedom, joy, peace. Say, may I be happy. May I be free. May I awaken. Let this love flow through you, into every thought, every word, every action. Let it be your foundation, your fuel, your fire. And when it is hard, when you feel dry, empty, defeated, return to the breath, return to the body, return to the present. Let this be your mantra. This moment is enough. This moment is sacred. This moment is mine to meet with truth. You are not here by accident. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are on the path. You are awakening. You are remembering. Speak to yourself like this for 1 week, and something ancient within you will stir. A knowing, a peace, a strength beyond words. It has always been there. It was only waiting for your voice to return. And now, we arrive at the place we never left. This is not the end. This is the beginning remembered. All this time you have walked, searched, asked, longed. You have climbed mountains of thought, swum oceans of emotion, wandered deserts of doubt. You have knelt in silence, screamed in pain, laughed through tears, and all of it, every breath, every step, was leading you back here, to the stillness within, to the sacred simplicity of being, to your own radiant heart. Everything you seek, peace, purpose, love, truth, it is not ahead of you. It is within you. It has been calling to you, softly, like a bird before dawn. It has waited through your storms, through your distractions, through your forgetting. And now, you are listening, truly listening. The Buddha said, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. This is not a metaphor, it is a direct instruction. Every step is the path. Every breath, every mistake, every moment of forgiveness, every time you choose presence over distraction, every time you choose love over fear. You do not need to be perfect to walk this path. You only need to be sincere. You do not need to know where it ends. You only need to walk it with your eyes open. Every morning you wake into a world of choice. Will you speak to yourself with judgment or with compassion? Will you move from fear or from clarity? Will you grasp for control or open to truth? Talk to yourself like this. I walk gently, but I walk with strength. I carry my pain as a teacher, not a curse. I forgive myself again and again. I am not alone. I am a thread in the vast web of life. I release what I thought I was and open to what I am becoming. And now, pause. Feel the breath. Feel your chest rise and fall. Feel the mystery of it. That you are alive. That you are conscious. That you are aware of being aware. Do not rush past this, because here, in this breath, is everything. This breath is your teacher. It brings you into the moment. It brings you into truth. It brings you into the only place liberation can ever happen, here and now. Let your life be your practice. Let every interaction be a Dharma gate. Let every difficulty be a sharpening stone for your awakening. You will fall. Yes. You will forget. Yes. But always, always you can return. This is resilience. This is awakening. This is your power, not in becoming someone else, not in achieving some perfect ideal, but in remembering again and again the still, quiet, infinite presence at the center of your being. Talk to yourself like this for 1 week, and you will begin to see the world differently. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You will rise from your pain, not in denial, but in wisdom. You will step into your life, not to dominate it, but to meet it. You will walk among others, not in fear or comparison, but in compassion. You will meet each moment like an old friend, and bow to it, and say, yes, you too are my teacher. This is what the Buddha offered us. Not a religion, not a system, but a mirror. And in that mirror, if we look long enough, we see not a separate self, but the whole of life, shining back. The mountain and the stream, the tears and the laughter, the child and the elder, the pain and the joy, all one. You are not apart from this. You are this. You are the breath. You are the awareness. You are the love that remains when all else falls away. And so we end. Not with a closing, but with a quiet beginning. A vow to return, to wake up, to live fully, to love without measure, to walk the path with open eyes, steady heart, and gentle steps. Tonight, let this be your final whisper to yourself. I am home, I am free, I am here.